This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Selling a little or a lot? Do your thing however you cha-ching with Shopify, the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/offer23.
Bienvenidas al podcast Dos Bold Latinas. Aquí están sus hosts, Jatna Abreu
y Josibel Madera Vialet, dos latinas feministas born en Santo Domingo y en New York.
Passionate about Latina empowerment, Spanglish,
learning, growth, and so much more. Hola, hola. Bienvenidas al episodio número 2 de Dos Bold Latinas. Quiero agradecerles a todas ustedes por darnos el apoyo y el seguimiento en nuestro lanzamiento de episodio número 1. Eso nos ha dado una gran motivación y orgullo de poder extender lo que es la sabiduría de nosotros hacia la comunidad latina. Con eso en mente, les quiero dejar saber que este episodio se trata de motivación. Todo por gracias a ustedes. Aquí las dejo con Jatna.
Yes, thank you, Rosie. And so I also want to second that. Thank you so much for helping us with the first episode and listening to it. We're very motivated to move forward and continue to bring you information and things that will help you as Latinas to just on your day to day. So, como dice Rosie, hoy vamos a hablar de motivación. Y según el diccionario, la motivación es un estado interno que activa, dirige y mantiene la conducta de la persona hacia metas o fines determinados. Es el impulso que mueve a la persona a realizar ciertas acciones y persistir en ellas para terminar dichas acciones. So basically, it's just that thing that makes us want to get up every day and get stuff done. So we all know that a lot of us as Latinas, or I guess like all women in general, like we wear many hats and it is very hard to stay motivated. So because of us, obviously are like, most of us are obviously like moms, wives, employees, friends, daughters, and obviously the list goes on. So es bien difícil mantener motivación cuando tenemos nuestros platos llenos al día a día. Pero hay algunas cosas que podemos hacer para mantenernos motivadas. So we're going to share with you a list of things that we both do to keep ourselves motivated and accomplish most of the things that we can actually control. Porque obviamente hay cosas que realmente no podemos controlar, and that's okay. Otra cosa es que cada persona tiene su propia manera de motivarse. So there are different ways in which people get motivated. So I internal drivers and external drivers. And think about of the internal drivers as like self-improvement and you wanting to get things done just because you want to be happy and you want to better yourself. Pero external drivers are kind of like things that you want to get done, not just to be to improve yourself as a person, but also because you want a reward, like you want compensation for that. So like maybe getting a raise. O sea que les exhorto a cada una que entiendan cuál es su motivación and cuál es su like driver, whether it be internal or external. So what we're going to do now is that Rosie and I will talk about our personal motivation drivers. And obviously, like we both have internal and external drivers. So let's share with you like kind of like a little bit about what we do and what actually motivates us on a day-to-day, and then see if that helps you and brings you, gives you idea on how you get motivated on a day-to-day. So Rosie, take it away.
Thank you, Jatna. Excellent explanation of what motivation is. I do like how you explained you can only control what you can control. So when I think of my personal motivation drivers, it all comes down to me knowing that there's a finish line to everything. That is my motivation. So want to give an example of something that I do not like to do, but I have to do it. And I have to find a way of how to motivate me myself to get it done. One of them is when I need to travel for work, for example, driving 4 hours. And when I said I don't like doing something, I really dislike driving. So one day I do want to get rich so I can have a chauffeur.
Don't we all?
And I also have this issue that I get really sleepy when I'm driving. So I have literally fell asleep at traffic lights from just being exhausted. So just giving you a background of why I really dislike driving, but I have to do it. So when I'm driving those 4 hours for work, for a work travel, what keeps me going is just knowing that there's a destination and just bumping up my music and just thinking, I'm going to get there, and just having my mind saying, once you get there, you're not even going to feel it. So that's an example of determining that there is a finish line to every situation. This way we can always stay motivated and just looking at the finish line. And the second one is, again, talking about work travel. This is, you're going to see the trend that I have had to motivate myself for work travels because that's been a difficult thing for me. And when I travel, I get anxiety. I have to leave my family behind. And who's going to do all the duties that I do? So I motivate myself to stay up all night to get everything tidied and organized in the home. That way, while I'm away, I'm focused on my work, knowing that I did everything humanly possible to leave everything organized and easy for my family left at home. So those are two things that are an example that motivate me personally. And it's just all about knowing that there's a finish line. So Jatna, I'm interested to know, what are your personal motivation drivers?
So, to be honest, I don't necessarily have like a list of a lot of things that keep me, or like as far as like internal and external. I know that internally I want to be, I want to accomplish things, and because my parents did a lot of, they had a lot of sacrifices, made a lot of sacrifices for my siblings and I to come to this country, and making sure that I pay that back and I make them proud. Yo básicamente lo que hago siempre es always self-improvement, so accomplishing things that I think I can't do, but I know that if I put my mind to it, I can actually accomplish that. I can do it. And I always think about the sacrifices que mi papá y mi mamá hicieron para mandarme a ese país, para ir a la escuela y todo eso. Entonces, pensando en eso, mi internal drivers son básicamente basados en mi familia y las cosas que ellos hicieron para ser la persona que yo soy hoy. Luego, external drivers, obviamente, tú no solamente quieres que tener self-improvement, tú también quieres que te reward, que tu compañía o para quien sea que tú pagues, tú quieres hacer dinero por eso. Entonces, no solamente accomplish all of my goals, pero también ser rewarded for that. So compensation. So that is something that motivates me too. So thinking about both accomplishing my goals and getting to where I want to be, and then getting compensated for that, it's like those are my internal and external drivers. And along with that, obviously, like it goes back to like my family. So as long as I'm improving myself and I'm able to give back to my family, and I'm able to also, make money out of that and be compensated for that, so that like podamos vivir bien y todo eso, then that's what motivates me on a day-to-day basis, basically. So back to recommendations. What I want to say is that regardless of your motivation drivers, just like Rosie and I just shared with you, internal and external, definitivamente hay cosas que se pueden hacer para mantenerse motivadas. So, no importa qué tipo de motivación tú tengas, como dije, interna o externa, cuáles son esos drivers que tú tienes. Con todo y eso, tú todavía tienes que hacer cosas que te ayuden a mantener esa motivación en el día a día, para que al final del día tú puedas, pues, accomplish all those goals que tú tienes on a daily basis, or all those goals que tú tienes for the entire year. So, with that said, Rose, do you want to share your tips on how you personally stay motivated on a day to day? Like, what are those things that you do that we can recommend people? Whether if you like it, this is something that you can do. On your day to day, based on what we do. But if you have other recommendations, like feel free to let us know as well. But we're hoping that our experiences and what we do can help you. You can pick up some of those things and use it for yourself and to stay motivated. So take it away, Rosie.
So, I do dread getting up every morning. So, for me to be motivated to get up every morning, I always ensure that my kitchen is clean the night before. Again, very personal. But I hope some of you guys could relate with me. There is a sense of feeling for me of accomplishment in the morning when I know that I don't need to dread getting up knowing that I need to clean the kitchen. When I know that my kitchen is clean, I'm so motivated to get up. I do things a lot faster because I'm not dreading that I have to go back to the dishes. And everyone's on time and I'm just at work relaxed. It's just a relaxing feeling. Number two, on social media, I follow pages which relate to my goals. So if I want to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to follow pages that are entrepreneurs. If I want to be a makeup artist, I'm going to follow makeup artists. If I want to be a musician, I am going to follow a musician. So I gave different examples, but I follow pages which are very relatable to my goals. So therefore, I motivate you to go on social media and make social media useful, adding value to your life. So on social media, I'm always looking for pages that are adding value to my life. You will see that my social media is all about self-education for myself. Number 3, I self-evaluate to validate my progress and then discussing it with someone that I trust to give myself props. That way, it keeps me motivated to say, oh my gosh, what am I going to report out to that person that I report out on a monthly basis? What have I done this month? Because it's easy for the month to fly by and for you to not do anything that you said you were going to do. So for myself, to keep myself on my toes, I'm always like, okay, I need to report something out that is really going to motivate that person to listen to me next month. Number 4, at work, I write down all the tasks each day at the end of the day to ensure I stay focused the next day. Because we all know that crossing out that little thing just gives us that joy, that happiness, makes me smile, and gives me the urgency to listen to more of my favorite music at work. Number 5, before going to bed, I try to find a motivator for the next day to ensure I make it happen the next day. So it's also, besides my number 1, knowing that my kitchen is clean, just knowing like, what am I waking up for besides my daily routine, besides sometimes we think we have a monotone life. It's just knowing, oh, today I have to accomplish this. So I need to get my ducks in a row to make sure I leave time to do this task that I said I was going to do today that's going to fill my heart. Number 6, knowing that I helped someone or brought value to them reminds me to be grateful for life. So to me, just having that feeling of gratefulness is a motivation to me. Honestly, like when I'm at work, when I do something that's not in my routine, that has nothing to do with my job, but I know that it helps someone, I just get that happy feeling, and it just makes me feel so grateful, and it keeps me motivating to seek out to see how I can keep helping people. Number 7, I always try to find a positive side to things. Jatna, I know you saw me write that to you this week, because in events, we're in tough situations. It's hard to find a positivity. However, I have found that's what it keeps me going, because in life is hard. None of us have it easy. And it's not about saying, oh, yeah, well, this happened because it has to happen. No, it is hard that we're going through that, but we have to learn how to find some type of positivity to just keep going. Number 8, On my phone, I am not very organized. And so when I think of things, I have a list on my phone that when I think of goals or something I want to accomplish, I write them down and then I have different tabs and I keep them in a category by priority. And then I just go back and analyze what I need to do, taking those small steps to make it happen. Number 9 is living basically day, knowing that each day could be your last day. And also in the back of my mind, this is something I learned from my dad. My actions from today determine my future. So that goes into my number 10. Of course, my motivation as a mom, my children, and also as a wife, a daughter, a sister, etc., my family. So just knowing, especially now, that I need to leave a legend, that every little thing that I do now determines my future for myself and everyone that I care about. So I'm going to leave you with Jatna. Let's see, Jatna, what are your personal motivators?
So first of all, Rosie, let me just say that those are great things to do for motivation. I remember that when I spoke to Rosie about our second episode and talking about what are we gonna talk about, like what's the best topic to bring to to this Latina women's. And I said, you know what? Like, let's talk about motivation because, like, nowadays, and being February and being the second month of the year, yo no creo que, like, it's hard. It's really hard to stay motivated at this point. Y porque, like, it's in Michigan, at least, like, it's winter. It's, like, dark out all the time. So things like that, cuando el sol no está afuera, te hace sentir, like, less motivated to do things. But the point is que cuando yo le dije a Rosy, vamos a hablar de motivation, she told me that she didn't have, like, that she's never motivated or that she couldn't think of things that people could do that makes her be motivated on a daily basis. And let me just say, she just said 10 things that she does on a daily basis to stay motivated. So I don't know what she was talking about.
I had to match your list of 10.
Anywho, but with that said, there's a few things that I also do to stay motivated, and I hope that just like Rosie shared hers, mine's would maybe help you to stay motivated. So again, pick on or choose the ones that you think would work best for you and and in your life, and so go from there. But so the first thing that I do to stay motivated is, well, this may sound cliche, pero yo comienzo mi motivación del año by planning my goals and basically creating a vision board. I actually started doing this maybe like 3 years ago because I thought that it's very important to have to put into perspective, or like to put on a piece of paper, like on a board, something that you want to, or things that you want to accomplish for the rest of the year. And I feel like doing that for the past 3 years has basically helped me accomplish a lot of my goals, and even things that I wasn't even planning on accomplishing at all, that I didn't add on my board, and it's just extra stuff that I got to accomplish. But I think it's because I was able to put on paper on something visually that I wanted to do those things, and I actually ended up doing more than what I put on that board. So I start the year with creating a vision board of what I want to do, and then with that I put those goals on there, and then I take the board on a daily basis, like after I'm done, and put that board where I can see it on a daily basis. So like si en mi cuarto cuando yo me levanto, and it's like right in front of me where I see like my progress and the things that I said I would accomplish but I haven't, and I kind of like go through the progress, like and see where I've what I've done and what I haven't done yet, so to make myself accountable to continue to do those things. So about that vision board, so 3 years ago my sister and I started because we're both into this, like we want to get this done, we want to we have a vision and we want to get that accomplished. So we decided to actually host, like on a this is our 3rd year doing that. We decided to host a vision board party where we invite most of our Latina female friends, And we get together, whether it be at her house, at my house, and we just buy boards and get magazines and like bring wine and order pizza or whatever it is, and we just get together at the beginning of the year in January, and we just host a vision board party so that everyone has creates their board, and we can motivate other Latina women, like other people, to put their goals into a vision, basically. So that's something that we love doing. And if that's something that you want to start doing, like, feel free to just host one of those sessions every year, and invite your friends, and you all at the same time get motivated and put those goals into something that you can see on a daily basis. The other thing I do is that when we talk about everyday tasks per se, so like work task, work events, family events, board meetings, board events. So there's a lot, right? Like, there's a lot that personally I know I do, and that I know that other people do as well. That I try to actually have a calendar, so a work calendar, and it's on my phone and on my laptop, that I can see it on a daily basis. And then I also have a family calendar that it's also attached to my phone, on my phone, and then and at home it's on a fridge so we can visually see it. So I try to, as much as I can, to just keep myself organized that way, and just put those things into my work or my personal calendar, so I know what's happening next. So I know where the family needs to be, what events are happening, and what we can, say yes to or no to based on our, how busy we are. So for me, that's what works. Like, calendars are pretty much my life. Like, if you ask Rosie, she knows.
If it's not on her calendar, it's not getting done, guys.
Exactly. So that's important. The other thing is that I'm a coffee drinker. And for me, coffee is like my motivation. So every single morning when I get to work, or even when I'm at home during the weekends, I have to. The first thing I do, obviously, like after brushing my teeth and all that stuff, but the first thing I do is like pour myself a just a cup of coffee, because for me that's like a driver. For me, that's a motivator. For me, it's like that's the first thing I need to get done, and it's gonna help me then carry out the task and everything else I have to do throughout the day. I'm not a coffee addict, obviously. Even though I do try to drink a cup of coffee like once a day or twice, if I feel like I need a little more motivation. But I think for me, that's, that works. And so if you're not a coffee drinker, obviously, like, there's a lot of other things you can do. Like, I mean, there's tea, there's other types of drinks, right? Or there's other things that you can do just to, first thing in the morning, to just, that routine thing that it's like, oh, I got to do this. And that's what's going to help me stay motivated throughout the day. So just find that thing for you. Then I like to look at my calendar the night before every single day. Or even on the weekends, I like to look at my calendar on Sunday nights just to see what I have happening throughout the weekdays, just so I know how to prepare myself. And then I do the same thing every night before I go to bed, to know what's happening the next day, so I know how to prepare myself. So I think, that's a routine for me, and that's something that helps me be better prepared for whatever it is I'm doing the next day. Then obviously, like I say, just like Rosie, she mentioned like staying organized and tracking progress, like just to know where I am. And obviously sometimes like we don't get to accomplish or finish all those tasks, but at least you can go back and say like, hey, I didn't get the whole thing done, pero yo hice una parte, and I feel proud about it because I at least did something. Not the whole thing, but I did something. And so you track that, and you track your progress, and then you keep going. And then another thing is giving myself breaks throughout the day. So if I'm at work, I try to have lunch, like, even though usually it's not the healthiest thing to do, but I do have lunch like at my desk while working. Again, not healthy, but at least even if I'm working, like, I try to give myself like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes while like I'm eating my food, just so that my brain can like take a break. And also sometimes I try to go for a walk. And I try to go to the bathroom multiple times a day and like go, talk to people, if I feel like I need a break from something that I'm doing. So like I just try to be less stressed out. Like I find it to be less stressful if I just stop what I'm doing, if I'm feeling a little not motivated at the moment, and I just go out and try to like, take a walk and see like, okay, I'll come back to this later. And then I also, just like Rosie, I do read motivational quotes on a daily. So we talked about this before, but Pinterest, Instagram, social media, there's a lot of motivational pages out there. And if you go to Pinterest, there's a lot of Pinterest boards with a lot of inspirational quotes. And I love those. And you guys know that we try to, also with our Instagram account, we try to, on a daily basis, to like share some of those inspirational quotes with you, just so that, like we can spread the love and like, so you guys, kind of feel motivated as well. So those are things that, I don't know, for some reason makes me feel like, oh yes, like that I can do it. I can go back and, get stuff done if I read something that like inspires me. And then the other thing I do is to try to eliminate distractions like social media and, watching TV as much as I can. So I try to focus on the task at hand and I try to get it done. And yes, like I do take breaks throughout the day to like scroll through social media or post stuff for you guys, like in Dos Bo Latinas Instagram. And but I do try to minimize that, just because like that's a distraction, and if you spend a lot of time on social media, like then you're not gonna get stuff done. So the reality is that social media can be good, but it can also be bad if you don't do it in if you don't have a healthy balance, right? And then the last thing I do, which I love doing, and Rosie doesn't, so I'm trying to get her to do those things with me, is I reward myself on the weekends. So I basically take some time, maybe not every weekend, because reality is like we're moms and like there's a ton of stuff we have to do. But as much as I can, I try to like self-care. So I sometimes, go get my hair done. For me, that's at least like find your self-care, because everyone's different. But for me, self-care is more about getting my hair done and going to get my, my nails done. And sometimes maybe like going shopping, I don't know, online shopping or whatever it is. But I don't, I take some time for myself, and I try as much as I can to maybe, like have my husband like stay with my son and give me some time just for me, even if it's like to read a book or whatever it is. But I try as much as I can just to go out of the house to get things done. Like yesterday, Rosie and I actually went to a yoga class. So you want to talk about that, Rosie?
I'm sore today.
So am I. But it was so good though. Like we weren't expecting, granted, we were like, how long? Like 15 minutes late?
Yes. It was snowing again. We forgot to clean our cars. No, but I would have never gone to yoga if she were not motivating me to go. So I'm sitting here. I'm like, what am I going to say at the end of this episode? And it's about that. It's finding someone that motivates you.
And I'm that person for her. I'm just
yes.
kidding.
No, but yes. Busca, identifica quién te motiva. Primero evalúa cuál es tu meta. Y segundo, cuando tú hablas de tu meta, ¿quién demuestra ese interés en ayudarte a superarte, en buscarte los recursos? Identifica quién es esa persona, y con esa persona que tú te vas a unir más y vas a hablar de tus metas para que te mantengan motivado. Que cuando tú te sientas de que, oh, I don't feel like doing it today, that person's the one that's going to snap you out of it. And that's the person that you need to find to also help you stay motivated, because we could give you a list, but then you're like, oh my gosh, but it's hard to do it on my own. So find someone also that holds you accountable.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things why Rosie and I became, like, we knew each other before, and we would talk to each other, like, sporadically. But when the moment that we actually, like, took some time to, like, deeply have a conversation and get to know each other, it's like we clicked and we were like, oh my gosh, I found a new best friend. Because we have the same kind of like goals, the same determination, the same, like, I don't know. There's like that thing when you find that person, and it's like, and I was telling Rosie, like, I don't know, but like, at 29 years old, however old we were, when we kind of like actually started doing this, what I found, like, as an adult, I actually found, is that weird that you can find a best friend when you're an adult? Because I think I just found a best friend that like actually shared things that like in common that I can't really say that a lot of, because like you have things in common, like I have other friends obviously, and that's like a separate thing, like we have other things in common, but like choosing and finding someone that would, like she said, like put self accountability, like, oh, are we gonna do this? And like I talked to her about doing this podcast, and she was like, yes, let's do it. You need to find someone that says yes to you, and like I will help you. And here we are, and I don't know, I just love it. So find yourself that person, because that's also helpful, wouldn't you say, Rosie?
Yes. Fall in love again with someone.
Seriously. Yeah. So, anywho, well, we hope that you guys enjoyed this episode, and that you get what a little bit of motivation from some of those tips that we just shared with you. And one of the things we do want you to do is to, just let us know through our Two Bold Latinas Instagram account. How did you stay motivated? Because you may have other things that we didn't share with you today, and we want to know that, and we want to be able to share that with other women. So if you do have some things that you want to share with us, like DM us, send us a message, and we will, put them together, and we'll share that with the other girls, just so that there's a list of things that they also have, that it's not just like our experience.
Yes, share your knowledge. The whole reason of us doing this podcast is darle ese granito de sabiduría a ustedes y nosotras aprender de ustedes. So, mientras más unidas y mientras más compartamos, más grande seremos. So, gracias, chicas, y hasta el próximo episodio.
Bye.
Chao.